All right. So welcome, folks. Christine started off, do your introductions,
Great.
and I'll take it from there.
Great. Thank you. God, thank you. And Harry, thank you again for all the hard work. And Charles, both of you and everybody that has been participating in this. I mean, it's an incredible team effort. And we owe a lot of gratitude to you, Harry, and certainly to Charles and everybody that's really been in the front line here, putting it all together. So thank you. I certainly can't take the credit, but got a lot of friends on the call. And welcome everybody. This is we're continuing these calls every Wednesdays at noon. And we have a lot to do. We got 4 weeks, not even 4 weeks actually. And so we have a lot to do. Exciting times and an exciting concert as well coming up. And we're going to have some special guests on this call. But I am going to now turn it over to the co-leader and our champion, Harry Thomas. Harry, thank you.
You're too kind. And we have Charles. I saw Kurt Elling joined. I also saw that from the Democratic Senatorial campaign join, who will be saying some things later. But what I thought the appropriate thing would do is to turn this over to Charles and let him start and lead the way. Charles, congratulations on putting this together. Kurt, thank you for all your yeomen's pulling this fundraiser together. And so, Charles, you have the floor. Take it away.
Thank you, Harry and Christine and everyone that's on the call this morning. Want again, thank you for your leadership in this regard. I think we all on this call know what's at stake here in Georgia, and I'm happy to play my particular role. Thank you for the invitation, Harry. Let me start off this morning by saying that I need to be in full disclosure. I've been hired by Reverend Warnke's campaign, and I am officially helping them through the final stretch. So I'll be wearing 2 hats today. One, I can speak directly to maybe some of your concerns as they relate to his campaign. And then the other project that you all have graciously encouraged me in doing and working with Grammy Award-winning artist Kurt Elling, the Blue Holiday, is live. And Harry, please, if you would, at some point during the discussion, you can share the link. What we've done is we've shifted the gears a little bit, and Kurt go into it a little bit today, if you permit us to have that time, Harry. And what we're doing, instead of buying tickets in advance, we will make this available to the viewing audience, period, but ask them to donate while they're making their view. The dynamics have changed a little bit. We've had a couple of hurdles that we've had to overcome with respect to campaign laws and things of that nature. But the campaigns are on board. You will have live links to their actual campaign, and the money will be going directly to the Reverend Warnock for Senate and John Ossoff campaigns. Brian, who is our technical person, may be on the call and be able to answer any of those questions. But again, to reiterate and reemphasize, the link will be available to anyone. You can tap onto it and access the concert for these many artists who are donating their time. And then you can donate directly to the campaigns from the site. So you'll be able to set up the link on your various sites and have people go in and view the concert and make donations directly to the campaigns. A little bit of a twist from where we started, but we have not labored in vain to make this a reality and recognize the many artists who have willingly given of their time to keep the energy alive with respect to this critical election. I don't have to tell you all what's at stake to give President-elect and Vice President-elect a Congress that they can work with. And so with that, I'll be happy to entertain any particular questions you may have, or let Kurt take the floor and expound upon some of the things I shared. We have 159 counties here in the state of Georgia, 600 municipalities. You can imagine the breadth and the scope of what we have to deal with. Our calendars are booked in Zoom calls, virtual calls. We're continuing to outreach to various networks and entities to get this message out. Early voting starts next Monday, and we'll run through the holidays with the culmination of the vote in January the 5th. So with that, I won't belabor the point and take much of your time, but I'm open to any questions you may have that I'll be able to answer. Thank you, Harry. Thank you, Christine. Thank you,
Oh,
team.
thank you.
Thanks, Charles. So what may be appropriate is I have Dawn on the line. I'll let her introduce herself. But Dawn, I'm doing it that way this time is because one of the things we wanted to try to do is have a compatible link from our group so we can try and track how effective we are with our gave through these efforts that you've been putting on through us. So I sent her an email and I hope she had an opportunity to look at it. I would like for you to need information more on the Blue Holiday if you didn't get a chance to look at it and see what's going on, just to talk about it. Donna, you ready to be queued up?
Hi there, everyone. Thank you
Hi,
for
Dawn.
having me. Thank you. Uh-huh.
You got us scared here. You have such a relaxed background there. You make us want to just be in a
No, we don't have the prized bookshelf that everyone else has, so I'm a Kindle person, so that's why.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So tell them who you are, and they all know, but just say it
Sure, of course.
for the sake of this. I didn't want to blow your own introduction. I think you have been just tremendous on every call we've asked you to get on. So thank you very much, Don, and thank you for your national work coordinating these kind of efforts through the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. So go ahead.
No, absolutely. Again, thank you so much for having me. I'm Dawn Lee, and I am the National Field Director at the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee. I know many of you know what the DSCC is. We are very single focused because we're very simple people. We just like, one, to win, and two, recruit and elect Democrats to the US Senate, right? And to win a Democratic Senate majority. It's very simple. That's all we do. But I also want to say thank you so much for all of the work and activism. It's this type of bond that we have to one another. That you live in DC, you live in Maryland, you live in Virginia, and that we're able to help. I saw so many of you this last election cycle helping out, for us to win in Arizona and Colorado, and gave and Michigan, to retake back Michigan, and you all helped give us a the fight of their lives in Iowa and in Maine and North Carolina. And now the battleground is in Georgia. And I have to say, it feels damn good to be fighting in Georgia. We, as Commissioner, as Charles had mentioned, that we are, 27 days away. And I can't believe it's already been a month since November 3rd, right? And here we are, less than 4 weeks out yesterday from Election Day. But as Charles shared, early voting begins on Monday. Absentee voting had already begun before Thanksgiving. Ballots were starting to hit doors on November 18th. And right now we have over 1.1 million people who have requested an absentee ballot. And please excuse me if I'm repeating things that you already know. Georgia is not a traditional vote by mail place. Naturally, it's a place where 600,000 people in the state are usually the only ones who get an absentee ballot sent to their home. And these are folks who are over 70 years old, in the military, and or live out of state. And so, to have 1.1 million people who, usually are expected to vote by early voting or on Election Day, the fact that we believe that our people are very motivated right now, and to be able to not only request the ballot, receive the ballot, check to make sure that they get the ballot, and then also send back the ballot or return it back to the different drop boxes around the state. I've worked in Georgia a lot, but primarily my work has always been in immigration work, and in the past, so a lot more work in the southern part of the state. So it's been a lot of fun. We have phone banks running, 5 different phone banks a day. I'm sorry, I should specify. we are running, both Reverend Warnock and John Ossoff's campaign are running incredibly robust campaigns and doing their own voter contact to reach people to, because Reverend Warnock is relatively not new to us because he's been an activist and a community leader for decades, but new to voters. So there's been a huge campaign to be able to promote Reverend Warnock, and 3 to 1. 3 to 1. Once people read a little bit more about Reverend Warnock, if they get the chance to meet Reverend Warnock, they're with us. And so a lot of our efforts in the Warnock campaign have been to introduce himself to the rest of the state. Born and raised in Savannah, and has been leaving incredible track record, consistent track record as a community leader and a social justice warrior in our communities. So, and so a lot of Reverend Warnock's work is just about getting out there and making sure that people know the name. And if I can just say, I think that his campaign has been very effective in persuading Georgia voters to believe that Kelly Loeffler is out for herself and has used and abused her office as senator to only self-enrich herself. And, if I can say, she's corrupt. And I think that more and more people, as they hear about it, they believe it. So I think that in many ways, you're seeing the polls right now. I think I saw the most recent poll, the Survey USA, was like Reverend Warnock 52%, Kelly Loeffler 48%. I want to just say we cannot believe any polls after we saw how close this last presidential was, right? So we want to make sure that we know as people begin to tune more and more into election day and make their plans to vote, that these polls are going to be tightening, and as we know, we believe in bringing people out to vote. The other side believes in suppressing the vote. So we can't let anything go by chance. So there is we can't believe that, we've got this in the bag. We're gonna have to fight for every vote every day. Regarding John Ossoff's campaign, we are very excited on that side, be able to, we're going after Senator David Perdue for his insider trading. I'll be honest, it is taking a little bit more. We're having to persuade Georgia voters to believe that their senator that they voted for in 2014 would participate in such things. And so it's that race right there is tied a little bit closer within the margins there. It's about a 48-48 tie right now. So still about 4% of people who are undecided. And it's, and John Ossoff, just like Reverend Warnock, both of them are just amazing speakers and traveling the state to be able to speak to as many voters as possible. And the Georgia Democratic Party has pulled together and is leading the coordinated campaign efforts, holding 5 phone banks a day. And we have canvases in 45 cities and towns around, using the best, most safest protocols to knock on doors and to talk to voters at their, outside their house, outside their door, 8 feet away. So there have been a mad dash of people who have gone to Georgia, and we are welcoming them. They're knocking on doors in Athens, of course, Atlanta, in Gwinnett County, and in Savannah, Colby County, so Clayton County. So there's so many that's happening. And then the phone banks, we're kind of, we're not hitting capacity just quite yet, but we have on average 600 people in a phone bank shift. So it's very impressive about the reach. And, as you can imagine, the intensity and the excitement, enthusiasm of people who have been spread out across, let's say, 18 battleground states over the last 9 months, now all coming together in one state, these poor Georgian voters, so, and then they're also being plummeted with TV ads on every day. There's over $380 million in TV ads on the TV right now. And that's not just by the candidates or by the parties, but it's also by super PACs. It's by, super PACs on both sides. And so there's issue advocacy tying about what a lot of negative ads, if I can be very frank. I know of at least 32 pieces of mail that have already hit people's doors because we're tracking and collecting that. So, and on top of holiday mail, you can imagine that the USPS is very busy. But, I'm sorry for just rambling on. I'm very excited about this race, as you can tell, and would love to answer any of your questions and see how we can go about getting you all involved. I know earlier you were mentioning about having your own Act Blue link. We can easily help create that for you so that we can add in a UTM so we can track all the people that you're bundling for. And so be able to tie it back to you all and then provide you with the list of people that use that link to contribute. So by any means, help, okay?
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I see Kurt's on and Charles. I want them to speak to the fundraiser, but I don't want to diminish the fact that we have another special guest on here today, Tazeen, who is going to talk about the ethnic caucus, who Christine will introduce in a minute. And I want to make sure that we get your thoughts in. So let's try and open it up to you guys, Charles, so you can tell me what's going on. Or any questions for the senatorial campaign. And what I really want on is also for you and Charles to get more directly linked because he's on the ground there. He's part of the campaign. And I think that would help you guys, cut through some things because it's a valuable resource. And the information you gained was very pertinent and helpful to our listeners. So go ahead. Go ahead, Charles.
No, I won't go on. I'll turn it over to Kurt and let Kurt give a little bit of a promo for the event. And then again, I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can. And thank you, Dawn. You did an excellent job of explaining exactly what it is that we're doing down here. In addition to knocking on doors safely with physical distancing going on, we cannot avoid that this time in this runoff. We have got to make some direct connections with some of our people who did not turn out, who did not take advantage of the mail-in ballot drop boxes. And the things that we have done in the because of COVID. Kurt, I'll defer to you.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn, it's very helpful to me to hear not only the overall scope of how it's going from your standpoint, but also to hear that there's a specific Act Blue link that we could use for this fundraiser so that you'd be able to track it and see what I hope will be a big successful dollar amount coming in. We've had an overwhelming response from jazz artists who've wanted to take part in this. Without exception, everybody I've even notified about it has said yes, even to the point where I've had to gratefully decline. We're trying to figure out a way because we want to keep the show to about an hour 30, an hour 35 for the attention span and whatnot. But for everybody who, for all the acts who we are not able to include in the regular show, my friend Brian Farina, who's my manager and technical advisor in all things, he's figured out a way where we can provide the show to those artists. They can put them on their Facebook and add their own performance to the front of the show. So they don't have to feel like they're missing out, and will have access to all of their Facebook people as well. So the biggest portion of our task is going to be to produce a great show, which is going to kill, and then to distribute it as broadly as possible through our Facebook networks. And obviously we're going to supply that link to everybody here, and you'll be able to post as broadly as you possibly can. The acts that we're talking about who are going to be prominently featured include Patty Austin, Take Six, Branford Marsalis, Danilo Perez, Cecile McLaurin Salvant, and then we have several Georgia natives or people who are now going to be associated with Georgia. Liz Wright, who's from, I want to say, Hayri, Georgia, way down in the South. And also Kenny Banks Sr. and Kenny Banks Jr. And they do an incredible, they've already recorded it, an incredible version of Change Is Gonna Come. It's the two of them sitting down to the same piano, and it just swings like a unbelievable gate, man. It just makes you feel so good and so strong. And then a young woman who's an Illinoisan of Rwandan descent, who has just moved to Atlanta, named Somi, S-O-M-I, and she is a current Grammy nominee. Several of the people who are on here are current Grammy nominees, and many, many of them are Grammy winners. So I'm very hopeful about it. I do have a question, and maybe this is off the table or whatnot. We can have a sidebar about it. Charles mentioned to me that we have the strong possibility of having at least a pre-recorded address from Reverend Warnock. It certainly would be helpful to have even like 2 or 3 minutes from John Ossoff as well, just to say, good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a good time on the program. These great artists supporting the cause. Thank you. Here are the 2 most important things I want you to remember. Full stop, and he's off. So whoever can get that to happen, that would be great.
We're working on it, Kurt. That's in the hopper as well.
Appreciate it. And then the other question, another question would be, from my standpoint, I can get to Dick Durbin. Dawn, you probably can get to him faster than I can, but I just bring it up because I'm here in Chicago, and I can get to Dick Durbin, and it might make sense to have, from a national standpoint, somebody like that put in 2 minutes and say, hi, this is me. This is the importance of this race. Don't forget how important it is from a national standpoint, just to give it that extra oomph. You can write in comments on the side if you want to. We don't have to get into it here. It's just another possibility. But I'm very hopeful about it. Charles mentioned that we were hoping at first to do a ticketed event, but I think this is going to be a lot more direct, given the amount of time that we have and the technical limitations that we have, given that we're working on basically no budget and just trying to get the best possible thing to happen with the broadest possible audience. Then I think we're well on the way. Charles, do you have anything to add to that? Have I done the job?
You have done the job. Let me not be negligent in thanking you, and exchange also thanking the artists for donating their time, and thanking you all for realizing what's at stake. It's critically important that we all get behind, and again, give our Democratic elected individuals in waiting a Congress that they can work with. I appreciate the artists. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coordinating with me here on the ground. And please convey that, as I have already, but will continue to do. I appreciate your leadership, Kurt. Thank you. Harry, I'm open to any questions that we might be able to answer. Again, let me reiterate. We've gone from a ticketed event, as Kurt just concluded by saying, and the link will be available to anyone, but there'll be direct links to the campaigns for people to donate. We're asking you not just to view the concert, but we're asking you all to put some skin in the game, if you will, to help our candidates get over the finish line and be successful for not only Georgia, but successful for the nation, because the issues that they will bring to the forefront will be issues that have a national impact. And Dawn, I look forward to talking with you.
Yep. Harry. Oh.
Go ahead.
Oh, Chris Warnke, I'm gonna have to bow shortly, but may I just say thank you also to Charles and Kurt and everybody. I mean, it's just an amazing effort. And, you know, one of the things, Dawn, I think we need to really make sure that, that the campaign understands too, is that this is a national effort, bringing in people from all ethnic groups, from minority, from the minority community, from the underserved, from the returning citizens. I mean, it's a really tremendous reach into every state. So it's not just a local effort, it's really a national effort. And I want to make sure that, that you understand, and certainly, the powers that be at the GSCC and the GNC and everybody, and I'm thrilled because we've really brought everybody together, and I'm excited. I'm so excited. So Kurt, thank you for an amazing program. And I don't know, Harry, is it okay for me to introduce some of our ethnic leaders, or because at this point, or
yeah, and do that. So yeah, I'll do that. You got to get off, and I mispronounced Tazeen's last name. I
That's okay.
apologize when I was rushing through.
Well, one of the things
But
that we
Don, I sent Don a link, and what I'm asking everybody to do is hold off, because I'm asking her to create a link that says "Don't mute Georgia" or GA, so that can be our tracking device, so that when we do this, we can show how accountable we were, how effective we are, and what it means to create this database for us of people who gave to such an effort in such a short term. So that is what I will say. And so introduce your folks real quick, and then we'll come back to this, because I know
I'm
you
not
got to
sure.
get off. Go ahead.
Thank you, Harry. I know that I think Tazeen is on, but I know Tazeen Ahmed, who's done an amazing effort with the Muslim American women. And for the first time, we've really seen the impact of the Muslim American community on this election. Certainly we saw it 4 weeks ago with electing President Joe Biden. But I know she's on, as well as others from the community, the Lithuanians. I mean, we have a huge reach. But I'll just share, Tazeen, if you're on, just say a few words about. I know you've already energized your group to be part of it.
No, thanks, Christine, and thanks, Harry, for organizing, and Charles and Kurt and Dawn, everyone here, for the great work. So yes, I've been leading the Muslim Women for Biden effort. We've been throughout the campaign for doing phone banking and postcard writing and other creating PSAs. So we're excited to join this effort. We're a national group, so we bring people in from all over. I was part of the kitchen cabinet for Muslims for Biden, which was a larger group. And it was one of the coalitions that worked, one of the official coalitions with the Biden campaign. So they are willing to be on board and push this out through all of their network and their contacts. So I'm looking forward to seeing the flyer and getting some more details so we can get that going. The one thing I was gonna, and I think I understand, but I'm just wondering, and Dawn, maybe you could answer that, is if Muslims for Biden and Muslim Women for Biden were pushing this out as a fundraising and trying to get people to donate, is there any way for us to track? I understand you creating a link to track within this group, but is there a way that we could have a link that we could post on our, whatever we're sending out, that would also track what we are doing as a group, the Muslims, as nationally?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will, so I can create the link for you right now, and then I'll connect you with the person who will be communicating from the back end, like as proceeds come in and building up, to be able to send you the list.
Right.
And Tazeen, I can put you in contact with our Muslim coordinator, American contact for the Warnke campaign, if you want to talk directly with her and coordinate your efforts with the campaign here.
That would be great. Thank you.
Tazeen, thank you. So, Dawn, one of the things, and thanks, Tazeen's been fabulous in doing this. We also have other ethnic American groups who have really, really been involved, in the campaign. And I'm not sure if Vytas is on with the Lithuanians, but I know they've been really, really active, and they pulled all the voter lists. I don't know, Vita, are you on? I'm not sure.
Yes, I am on. Sorry, yes, I am on. Yeah, we have these lists, and we're sending mailings to our Lithuanian group in Georgia. So that's
great.
We have them, and I'm searching through those lists to extract more names out of them. So that's what we're doing.
That's great.
We also have Desmond on, I think, who's going to have a call with the African diaspora folks tomorrow that we're setting up for GOTV. So maybe she can speak to that as well real quick. I think that's important. You there?
I'm here.
Phelomena, yeah, great.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris, for all you're doing, and thank you, Mr. Thomas. The African Diaspora for Biden, we have the Battleground State Committee. We are now calling it Biden-Harris Organizing for America. So we are going to show what we have tomorrow in the call. It is very, very interesting. We have targeted the 10 communities. You sent me that. We have it to the numbers, the African community there. And also we have targeted the income also, how much they make and how to reach them with their phone numbers. What we need will be for the campaign to give us the structure so that we can go door to door to knock on those. And we are going to present all that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Call. And I hope all of you will join the call. And thank you, Mr. Thomas, for giving us the link, because we're about to set the link, but I saw your link, so we stopped. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I think it will be tomorrow at noon, right?
Yeah, tomorrow 11:30, and I'm gonna
yes,
send that.
11:30. Yes.
Great.
So you
Thank you,
have
Phelomena.
that. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you very much, Ms. Desmond. And Charles, what we're talking about is we've connected your folk with her, and I'm waiting to hear back from her for this call tomorrow at 11:30, so they can really, the list you originally sent me of your Georgia Democratic Party people is the list they're working from, where they have targeted their members in those communities to outreach in those efforts, make sure that we have those people involved. So one of the things I was going to say, I heard, Tazeen, I heard what you're saying, but for all the groups, we want to try and centralize it, and then we can break it down and give you whatever you need for your constituent groups, because because we want to try and keep it as simple and make sure we know that we're going through a streamlined approach to this. But, we'll do whatever you want us to do, but any list we have is shared and for common public use for this. And I don't try to micromanage your organizations. That's why I like when Ms. Desmond asked me, we put you direct with the people and do what you have to do, because you all have a value to this. So I wanted to thank you for that. So on that,
Harry.
Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, just share Samia's information with Tazeen, and she can have a direct link to her as well for Muslim Americans and what we're doing here in Georgia.
Did you email that to me, Charles?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Harry give that to you, because I'm running like a chicken with my head cut off.
No, I was just not clear. Okay, so that's fine.
Charles got hired, but I became a secretary, so I'm good with that. I love him because he's been I'm just, and really we all understand how that works, right? We just help each other out. I will make sure we get that done.
Tazeen, I just put that in the link. Her contact, her direct contact.
I got it. Thank you.
So I know y'all are all pleased that we don't micromanage this process, because you all are movers and you want to get done. And the worst thing I can do is put a bridle on anyone in this group, because you all are leaders. And so we appreciate that. And that's the kind of forum I try to operate from, because we all have our own value and we know what that is. I do want to say that one of the things that's been very important to this effort that we're doing right now has been making sure you do get included. So what we're going to do on our website is create a page with all the logos from the organizations and all that kind of stuff, and make sure we send out that. And I'm going to try to do something like the challenge campaign, saying, hey, these folks joined our effort. What are you doing to make sure this election happens? And really give some shout outs and make it fun and make it competition. That's my coaching background. That's why you always see coach in front of my name. I like to make people compete. And so I think that's what we're going to do. Also, I wanted to bring in OT Russell, because I think there's a perspective we forget about when we're talking about dealing with disenfranchised folks. For example, OT is a returning citizen, and he shared a powerful story with us that he voted for the first time at 45. But I think people don't realize that even though when people are released from their incarceration, they have very onerous terms of probation that sometimes really doesn't free them, sometimes till 10 years later, and sometimes lifetime for people who get out. So OT, speak to what you need to.
Okay.
We're gonna kind of bring it all home.
Okay, yeah, man, I really get a lot every time that I'm in these meetings with you guys. So I really do appreciate being here. And again, just how I even started on this mission, man, it was just something that just came to me, reached out to Harry, and now all this wealth of resources is amazing for me. But yeah, to speak on what Harry just said, he and I actually, we had a conversation earlier today about this, but yeah, issue that I run into, of course, is, a lot of guys just in this limbo can't vote at this time, but I have been encouraging people to, basically recruiting them to be recruiters. tell your people, tell your friends, whoever, to get out and vote. Most people understand the importance of it, but you know, it's kind of like turning to a secondhand type thing. You encourage one person to encourage somebody else. Yeah, my strategy in the long is more so of a long-term type thing. Like, I recognize this is not some overnight just to get people just go out and vote, particularly returning citizens, because, you know, as stated, this is my first time voting. You know, for various reasons, you might think I would have voted for Obama, but unfortunately I was locked up right when he got elected in 2008. That's when I went down. So this is why this is my first election. But so yeah, what I'm doing is I'm basically planting seeds for the long term. Like, I'm really been studying politics, particularly the right side, and seeing how they have been planting seeds for decades to get to where they are. And so I realized that that's what's going to need to take place. Yeah. So this is something that I want to give to everybody. Maybe we can incorporate that somehow, some kind of way in our message. It just kind of clicked to me. So we all probably familiar with the song Georgia on My Mind, right? If everybody's heard that, raise your hand. Georgia. Okay. So Georgia on Your Mind. Let's flip that and say,
I think Kurt's going to be performing that in the set. I don't want to give too much away.
let's flip that and say, Senate on our mind, on my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about Georgia, right? And what's on our, is what this whole call is about, the Senate. So I'm actually gonna design some shirts. You know, we've been talking about artists. I am an artist first of all, and everything else after that. But I'm gonna design some shirts, and all that'll be ready within a week on my website. So I have all that to share next conversation that we have here on the Zoom. But Senate on my mind, I think that's a big push right there, and that'll kind of get everybody back on track. Like, okay, we had a presidential election, now it's the Senate. Senate is on my mind. All right, so just something to think. You know, everybody can share amongst their people and their platforms, but let's kind of make that a thing. Senate on my mind. That's what I have for today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So what I want to do now also is speak to the fact that I don't know if Aisha Brayboy or Calvin Hawkins was on. If they are, we had a great launch for our Divine 9 Plus phone banking. There's a link in the email I sent out to you all guys. We're on from Sundays to 1 to 3, Tuesdays from 6 to 8, and Thursdays from 6 to 8. And it's been, what we're trying to do is challenge the historically Black colleges and population, as well as the Black fraternities and sororities, Divine 9, and their friends and families, to get on those phone banks and pick it up. And we're also going to have additional days that we're sending over to Don in the Senatorial Campaign Committee in our local DC state party, where those folks can call when they're also calling if those 3 days don't work, because we, as was said by Don, we got to get that number up for phone banking so we're really active. And I want to say we're going to start this week with something called, starting off with my first thing will be the AKA challenge, because Marva Jo Camps, one of the AKA in this area, has now taken it on and is going to get all of her sorority sisters involved. So now all the other groups need to step up and meet that. Calvin or Aisha, if you're there, I can listen real quick. If not, I'm gonna come back and leave it to questions. We're going a little longer than we normally do. But if that's the case, I'll leave it to Don and Kurt to close out if they have any other information they need to give us. Mic's open. Go ahead.
I'm relaxed, man. I feel great about it. We're encouraged about the event, and we're going to give it our best.
And I'm issuing a challenge to the
Don?
Divine 9, as we started out doing. We're having a Zoom call with them tomorrow, Reverend Warnke and our team. And I bet Georgia's fraternities and sororities is going to outdo y'all on fundraising for the Jazz Concert. The challenge is issued. What y'all going to do?
Well, it's better. You better, because your wife is a Delta, and I don't think we want the whole backlash that I'm gonna get, if that doesn't happen in your house. So make it happen, man. Make it happen. Don, you got anything else? Are you still here?
Yeah, thank you so much again for having us, and let's bring us home in 27 days. Anything I can do to help we can provide trainings, we can provide more phone links for you all to do phone bank from a distance, because really, like, it's electing 2 senators for Georgia, but these are going to be where the future about the Senate for the U.S. So thank you.
Well, thank you all. And again, great call. I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm. Look forward to our call tomorrow. And Charles, you have been great. And we got to give you a congratulations for coming on to the campaign and putting another added responsibility to your life. I know you got a lot going on, but thank you. And Kurt, thank you very much. One question, is Vanessa Williams still going to be the
Well, she checked on her schedule, and it happens that she's hosting a PBS Christmas special on at least within 3 days of there. So she had a contractual problem that took her out of the game.
Someone texted me and asked me that, so I just wanted to make sure. And I'm sure you're going to hold it up, man. And one thing, you let me down today. You don't have nobody on your lap. You had that young person on your lap.
Listen, I was willing to have him here, but it was time for him to have a little bit of Zoom school. So my bride came in and took him off my hands.
Oh, yeah, your Zoom school is killing us, isn't it? So thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you for everybody being on the call, and I appreciate it today. And remember, I'm going to send out the recording so people will have a recording if they need to go back over information. Talk to you guys later. All right.
Good job, Harry. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you all. See you all.
All right. Love you, and nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I love you too, brother. See y'all later. Ending.